You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie, and I'm proud of the life I have, surrounded by military and aware just how big the world really is. I have a unique perspective on life and the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View. Alright, it's Jessie. How's everybody doing out there today? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. Alright, gotta admit, as much as I think everything's settled, every time I think everything in my home studio is actually done and settled, I move something. No joke, I move something. It may be something as simple as where I keep the paper clips, but I seem to move something. I'll probably finish moving things in about 2 to 3 weeks. I tend to do that. I move my office, quote unquote, or studio, take your pick, and then I spend about 3 weeks henpecking at everything. And you'd be amazed. I actually moved my microphone today from one side of my desk to the other. I know that doesn't sound like anything huge. I actually wish I could suspend it from the ceiling. But ceiling's too high for that, and yeah, no. So we work with what we've got. But anyway, so if I seem to misplace a thing or two, it's because, well, I'm having to move everything in slightly different ways today. I know you can't see my studio. Maybe one of these days I'll give you an inside peek. But I've got 2 monitors full of stuff to keep track of while I'm on the air. Alright, enough about me and my studio and the move and everything else. Because that's not why you're here. You are here because you want to know more about what's going on in the world. Yeah, that's why you're here. Well, what if I told you turkey's at it again? No, not that turkey. I have to come up with a new line for turkey, but it's cute. Turkey has ended their state of emergency after 2 years. But I'm not sure anybody is going to notice. Because, quite frankly, they brought in a whole host of new terror laws. Well, fighting terrorism is a good thing. However, you have to realize who Turkey calls a terrorist. Now, they declared a 3-month state of emergency days after the violent failed coup attempt in 2016. Needless to say, it's been extended several times since then, 7 to be precise. President Erdogan, one of his campaign promises was not to prolong the state of emergency when it expired at midnight. Hint, it's past midnight in Turkey. Instead, a parliamentary committee on Thursday is scheduled to, air quotes here, debate government-proposed legislation that, among other things, allow authorities to press ahead with mass dismissals of civil servants and hold some suspects in custody for up to 12 days. These are suspects. They haven't been charged. Just, we're sniffing around, so we're going to keep you in jail for 12 days. Womp womp. Fail. Under the state of emergency, more than 75,000 people were arrested. You heard the number right. 75,000. And 130,000 civil servants have been purged from government jobs for purported links to, quote, terror organizations. Among them, judges, prosecutors, police, military officers, teachers, academics. And here's the deal. Even the UN said that Turkey's state of emergency had led to human rights violations. Now, we can't completely come down on Turkey because they are a NATO member, as odd as I think that is. They are a NATO member. Scratch head. We'll get back to that. Alright, so while Turkey is in NATO, they are also a human rights violator. Interesting. So what their new anti-terror laws would allow governors to bar entry into certain regions for up to 15 days. Open-air demonstrations would be restricted to daylight hours. They're basically, instead of declaring and renewing the state of emergency, they're putting laws into place. Yes, laws into place permanently. They would have the same basic effect as the state of emergency. And I'm sitting here going, what's the point? No, really. Anybody got a point here? Because, yeah, you end the, quote, state of emergency, but I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, Erdogan? Yeah, I think that's what he's doing right now. He's probably actually asleep, but you get what I'm saying. Alright. Other Turkey news. A Turkish court on Wednesday denied, once again, the request for the release from custody of an American pastor based in Turkey who's on trial on charges of aiding terror groups and engaging in espionage. Andrew Craig Brunson, a 50-year-old evangelical pastor from Black Mountain, North Carolina, was arrested in the aftermath of the 2016 coup for alleged links to the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, or the PKK. Alright, so we got that. Anybody who knows anybody in the PKK is immediately deemed ties to terrorism. Brunson faces up to 35 years in prison for committing crimes on behalf of terror groups without being a member, and espionage. He strongly denies the charges. Now, why is this American arrested? this all goes back to the cleric in Pennsylvania, Gulen. Erdogan blamed the entire coup on Gulen. Well, Gulen claims he doesn't have a bleeping thing to do with it. And the hearing was inside the prison, in a court, and Brunson's lawyer requested he be freed pending the outcome of the trial. The case was adjourned to October 12th, and nope. Brunson's case is one in a long list of items that is straining U.S.-Turkish relations. Yep, it's straining U.S.-Turkish relations. They call him a spy. But here's the thing, he's not. In fact, Donald Trump tweeted in Brunson's defense, they call him a spy, but I'm more a spy than he is. Now, it was something that Trump has brought up to Turkey. And the top U.S. diplomat in Turkey expressed a great deal of disappointment. He's read the indictment, he's attended 3 hearings, and he doesn't believe there's any indication Pastor Brunson is guilty of any sort of criminal or terrorist activity. And while we do have, quote-unquote, great faith in the commitment of the Turkish people to justice, basically the U.S. government wants him released. Well, what does Turkey want? They want us to extradite Gulen, who's committed no crime here in the United States, and who would most certainly be executed if he was returned. We don't generally send people out just because somebody wants them. There's got to be a good reason. Alright, so what else Turkey is going on? Well, Venezuela has been dealing with sanctions. Wait a minute, how does Venezuela relate to Turkey? To quote Host Kitty, hang paw and you'll find out. Oh, what's that, Host Kitty? Alright. Venezuela's central bank this year began refining gold in Turkey. What? Yeah. Because a wave of international sanctions have left it unwilling to carry out such operations in Switzerland. So they'd been doing it for several years, buying gold from small miners in the south of the country and refining it to be used as monetary gold to shore up its international reserves that have tumbled as the country's socialist economy implodes. Oh, what do I mean by implodes? Yeah, that's imploding. And let's just... So basically what happened, if they send the gold to Switzerland, it has to stay in Switzerland because of sanctions the country's under. So right now, it's being sent to Turkey, refined in Turkey, and becomes part of the central bank's portfolio of assets. The U.S. issued several sets of sanctions against Venezuela for violating human rights and undermining democracy, including a ban on U.S. citizens, a blanket ban, in fact, on U.S. citizens buying newly issued debt from Venezuela and its state-owned companies. President Nicolas Maduro says sanctions are part of an economic war. And he blames that for problems including chronic shortages of food, medicine, and inflation in June that topped 46,000%. Not 46%. 46,000%. Yeah, and you thought your credit card interest had inflation on it? And just to give you an idea of how much gold, the government has purchased 9.1 tons of gold from small miners so far this year. And the government was selling gold to Turkey in an effort to compensate for declining production of oil, which produces the lion's share of the country's foreign exchange. Well, folks, that's what happens when you have a socialist economy and you have to pay for everything. All right, moving right along. Get that turkey out of here. Yeah, that turkey. Let's talk about Iran. Yes, Iran. And there's a lot to be said about Iran. Now, where will I start? Well, this is easy. Iran well, aside from not being a nice place, we backed out of the Iran nuclear deal. Surely you've heard that by now. If not, you really do live under a rock. The Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei said he had ordered agencies to prepare to increase uranium enrichment capacity if a nuclear deal with world powers falls apart after Washington's withdrawal. Now, keep in mind, in the 1950s we were friendly with Iran. And we had several treaties with them. But not anymore. And that ever since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. And for those of you who are not students of history, basically Iranians stormed our embassy, held our people hostage for 444 days, and did everything but declare war against us. So, instead of building the factory in the next 7 or 8 years, we built it during the negotiations. So yes, even while they were negotiating with us over the Iran nuclear deal, they were working on factories. But they have never powered it up. And now the Ayatollah has given the order for this factory to start all its work. The factory would have the capacity to build rotors for up to 60 IR-6 centrifuges per day. And Iran has managed to stockpile 950 tons of uranium. They had imported 550 tons of uranium before the nuclear agreement and acquired another approximately 400 tons after the agreement was finalized. So, the Natanz facility, they never stopped working on building the infrastructure for the advanced centrifuges needed to make a nuclear bomb. Yeah, that doesn't sound very good. It really doesn't, because no offense, I really don't want Turkey, Iran, or most of these people to have tons of uranium hanging around. I mean, I really don't. Yeah, it's just not a good sound. Let's leave it at that. Don't know why I decided to play that sound. I probably grabbed the wrong one. We're just going to leave it alone. Alright, moving right along. We're not done. So they've opened the centrifuge factory. And it will allow Iran to reach its limit of 190 separative work units within 10 months. And the Iran deal is defective. I agree with that. It's one of the few things I can honestly say the thing was defective. Now, Iran hasn't been a nice place. Let's take a listen to some of the things they've done. Yeah, I'm getting there. If I ever had all my show prep perfect, you wouldn't. I'm convinced you wouldn't tune in because, well, it would be boring. So while I'm searching for the audio clip, you have to remember Iran. Here we go. Here's a nice audio clip from none other than Benjamin Netanyahu.
Henry Kissinger said that Iran must choose between being a country or a cause. Well, the regime in Iran has chosen to be a cause. The commander of the Revolutionary Guard, Ali Jafri, said, "We're on the path to the rule of Islam worldwide." That means right here, too. This is, in my judgment, the greatest threat to our world. Not just to Israel, not just to our Arab neighbors, not just to Muslims far and wide, but to you as well. Because once armed with nuclear weapons, Iran's aggression will be unchecked, and it will encompass the entire world.
And those are very wise words spoken by none other than Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel. And by the way, they're still chanting "Death to America, Death to Israel" every week after their Friday evening services. For any of you who are keeping score, I mean, they are still doing it. So, our thing with Iran was supposed to normalize their behavior. That's why we made the deal. Well, it didn't. Nothing Iran did changed. Iran got worse. Iran literally, here we go. Here's the audio clip.
As President Trump announced on October 13th, the United States is taking a new approach to Iran by focusing on all of the regime's destabilizing behavior. That means we are not just focused on the nuclear program. We're also taking a hard look at Iran's ballistic missile program, its arms exports, and its support for terrorists, proxy fighters, and dictators. Our new strategy was prompted by the undeniable fact that the Iranian regime's behavior is growing worse. The nuclear deal has done nothing to moderate the regime's conduct in other areas.
And let's grab one more Haley clip now that I found where they're hiding. Yeah, I've been looking for them the whole time. What can I say? I don't stop, I just keep looking. Here's one more Haley clip.
Aid from Iran's Revolutionary Guard to dangerous militias and terror groups is increasing. Its ballistic missiles and advanced weapons are turning up in war zones across the region. It's hard to find a conflict or a terrorist group in the Middle East that does not have Iran's fingerprints all over it.
All right, and on that note, folks, it is time to pay those radio station bills. So, let's grab some bumper music. Yeah, I'm a little behind on my show prep tonight. I let time honestly just get away from me. And so much has been moved around in the bumper decks that I can't always keep up. All right, reminder, you can follow me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse. You can email me at the station at Jesse's POV at KLRNRadio.com. And I will see you on the other side.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges. Just don't know what you've been asking for. This means war.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges. Just don't know what you've been asking for. This means war. Line 'em up.
All right, thank you for hanging in there with me while we paid those radio station bills. Yes. Now, there's a lot going on in North Korea that doesn't make the news, especially the mainstream media news. How about this? And I know you guys probably didn't catch this one. So give me a second to get it pulled up. But Russia has been supplying, yes, Russia supplies North Korea with between 200 and 400 tons of oil products a month. Yes, that's a lot. And North Korea relies on the fuel imports to keep its struggling economy floating. Quotas set by the UN nations allow 60,000 tons of oil products from Russia, China, and other countries per year. Now, let's do a little bit of quick math. And since they said 200 to 400, we're going to take 300 here. We're just going to do 300 times 12. That's 3,600 tons annually. So that's well within the limits. However, we don't know how much China is giving or other countries. Iran. And by the way, we're already being pushed to lessen the sanctions. Yep. Not by North Korea. No, not North Korea. Russia wants us to ease the sanctions. Yep. Russia. Why does that country's name seem to turn up in the middle of everything? I don't know, but it sure does. I'm just chasing the story down. Come on, gotta give me a couple seconds here. I know I'm a little off my game tonight. Here we go. Russia's envoy to North Korea said on Wednesday it would be logical to raise the question of easing sanctions on North Korea with the United Nations Security Council as the United States pushes for a halt to refined petroleum exports to Pyongyang. The positive change on the Korean Peninsula is now obvious, said Ambassador Alexander Matsgoria. Russia is ready to help modernize North Korea's energy system if sanctions are lifted. Wait a minute. Russia's got its nose in Syria. Russia's got its nose in Turkey. Remember, Turkey is looking at buying F-35s and Russian air defense. Now, we're still waiting on those war dead. Yeah, it's been a month. So, what is really going on? Well, Russia wants to help with North Korea denuclearization. I'm sorry, to me that sounds like the chicken in the hen house. No, seriously. Russia's name has turned up in how many places that we disagree with? Russia and Iran are buddy-buddy. Alright, so is war still possible? And would Kim give up his nukes? Here's a few expert opinions. The North Koreans control the pace of relations and have successfully instituted a dynamic that keeps the Americans in a largely reactive mode. Okay, so you have to get we have to get Pyongyang to commit as soon as possible, putting the North Koreans in a position of failing to live up to their promise. One leverage point may be the Singapore joint statement, as vague as it was, signed by KJU. The administration may have to directly call out Kim and lay future failure at his doorstep. By the way, what's China doing in the middle of this? What is China doing in the middle of this? Yep, I just asked the question. And KJU has called his ambassadors and heads of other overseas missions back to Pyongyang. It's presumed to be an ambassadorial meeting, but one never knows with KJU. The meeting would be about a month after the summit, and it might be for Kim to instruct policy directions and encourage hard work, or ahead of the 70th anniversary of the establishment of North Korea, or it could be something more sinister. With KJU, one never knows. Now, South Korea's top nuclear envoy had a meeting with Jonathan Nicholas Powell, former senior British official who just finished a trip to North Korea. Ri Soo-young, vice chairman of a Workers' Party of Korea, director of the Communist Party International's Affairs Department, met with Powell while he visited Pyongyang as the head of a British delegation. Ri is in charge of the North Diplomatic Affairs, and Powell served under Prime Minister Tony Blair as the first Downing Street Chief of Staff from 1997 to 2007. He briefed Lee Don-han, representative for Korean Peninsula Peace and Security Affairs at Seoul's Foreign Ministry. They also exchanged thoughts on recent security situation on the peninsula and relevant strategies. Lee explained the South Korean government's efforts for the implementation of the April 27th Inter-Korean Summit deal and Singapore Summit agreement between Pyongyang. Well, basically what we're saying here is the UK is trying to help get things going again. Now, this comes at the same time when North Korea's sitting there going, whatever, but I'm not sure if he truly understood what was going on. I'm really not sure if KJU got it. I'm thinking he was just a little bit out of the loop on what Trump was trying to get across. Alright, one other thing that's going on. India. India and Russia or North Korea. What? Yeah. India is popping up on both lists. And you're looking at me like I've lost my ever-loving mind. Well, A, India imports workers. Oh yeah. They want cheap, everybody. Who doesn't want cheap labor? Because India has largely become a high-tech society, and so they import a lot of labor for things like construction and picking crops and things like that. Now, they have a lot of their own, but they import some for certain projects. Well, India India was in Vladivostok. India is currently accepting letters of inquiry from Russian firms because they have a labor shortage. And they're looking to, right now, there's 37,000 North Koreans who work in Russia. Approximately 10,000 of them work in very harsh conditions. To comply with sanctions and Security Council Resolution 2375, Russia could no longer receive North Korean laborers after September. Under Resolution 2397, Moscow has agreed to repatriate the workers by the end of 2019. So, it looks like actually Russia is looking to hire Indian laborers. So, Russia's, I don't know if Russia's actually going to return these workers. Oh, and on a side note, Dennis Rodman's looking at his next trip to North Korea, and he wants to bring Kanye West. Yep. I said it. He wants to bring Kanye West to record a Leaders of Love song. I'm sorry, but fail. Yeah, I'm playing with different sound effects tonight. You'll live. Alright. Other news. Got a few minutes, so I want to cover just a couple other random stories. Japan has adopted its first smoking ban. Its first national smoking ban inside public facilities, but the watered-down measure includes many restaurants and bars and is seen as toothless. The legislation does aim to lower secondhand smoking risks ahead of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, amid international calls for smoke-free games. But ruling party lawmakers with strong ties to tobacco and restaurants opted for a weakened version. Last month, Tokyo separately enacted a stricter ordinance banning smoking at all larger eateries to protect diners and employees from secondhand smoke, but the law still allows many exceptions, and the Tokyo Games may not be fully smoke-free. Japan has often been called a smoker's paradise until now. It's had no binding law controlling secondhand smoke and ranked among the least protected countries by the World Health Organization. The new national law bans indoor smoking at schools, hospitals, and government offices. Smoking will be allowed at existing small eateries, including those with less than 1,076 square feet of customer space, which, by the way, that's more than half of Japanese establishments. Violators can face a fine of up to $2,700 for smokers and $4,500 for facility managers. The law is very lenient according to international standards, okay? And almost a fifth of adults in Japan smoke. Most office workers now light up only in smoking rooms or outdoors. And cities are gradually imposing limits on outdoor smoking in public areas. Most restaurants and bars in Japan allow smoking, making them the most common public source of secondhand smoke. So, yep, Japan is imposing a smoking ban. Well, in the wake of the Me Too movement, oh yeah, Spain introduced a new law requiring explicit verbal consent for sex. Spain's government plans to introduce a new yes means yes sexual consent law that will make rape cases less ambiguous. To be clear, ladies and gentlemen, if they say no, it means no. If they don't say yes, it means no. If a woman does not expressly say yes, then everything else is no. Okay. A similar law, stating sex without clear verbal or physical consent, constitutes rape, went into effect in Sweden. 5 men in Spain were accused of gang raping an 18-year-old woman during the 2016 running of the Bulls in Pamplona. They were convicted of sexual assault, but acquitted on rape. The men, who called themselves the Wolf Pack, filmed the attack, and defendants argued the footage, which showed lack of movement by the woman during the acts, was proof she gave consent. I say that's horsehockey. Prosecutors did state that she was actually too terrified to move, and protests erupted in the city, criticizing the ruling, which sentenced each of the men to 9 years in prison. Well, they got one thing right. Alright, thank you for hanging in there with me tonight. I am actually going to be a guest on America Off the Rails, so I got to go bone up on my U.S. politics. And you can hang out with me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse. And on that note, I'm gone.